Now, initially it is always the most important to be equipped with the proper attitude of mind. And here that means that for the benefit of all sentient beings, we open our hearts. And for that purpose, we wish to request instruction for Mahamudra, and after we obtain the instructions, we wish to put them into practice, into our own experience. With this attitude, please listen to
it. 사자경무 일이 이반다라 담부게 얘라 생게 짜들 제바 송하라 다 생게 짜들 제바 송데 담보 마지바 알드 인바메바 타르가바메바 이게가 네 삼제롱이 자라지 제강 되네 나론 송게 샘데 조동 띵게 마지비나 그 변나 돈발라 토하게 인지반농 인지 된 생자라 자는 긴 이게 뭐서 봐. 다 던지게 생게 롱인아 된다와 요사 던지 가론 총거 되는 자들에게 봐잖아. 생게 자들에게 봐.
So this text that we are receiving here as instruction is the instruction for Mahamudra in 4 words. The first statement is about to find out what this mind actually is. Totally clarify its nature. And we took a look into that, into mind, and made an investigation to find that mind does not arise from anywhere, it doesn't stay anywhere, it doesn't go anywhere. And therefore, it is not produced by any causes and conditions. It is not a produced thing. And when it did not arise in the first place, being produced by anything, it cannot disappear in the end by certain circumstances. Not like a vase that is made out of clay, we can destroy by a hammer. The mind cannot be destroyed at the end because it wasn't produced in the beginning by causes and conditions. So, if we understood this all well, then we have covered the first step, which is to clarify the nature of mind.
이게 이바자라 생지 야탑자바 다 이게 공도 땡베게 생게니 다 나랑도 냠바를 야니 다 때라 냠소로나 다디 이 이바지 땡게.
Now we come to the second step. And the second step is to show the skillful means by the help of which we can let the mind abide. Let the mind abide means here that based on everything that we have understood before about what mind actually is, we just rest in that certainty. Resting in that certainty of what our mind actually is, then this is to let the mind abide.
Eta tope tando sem neba sebe tala joke saka teta topa sumbi teta sang zada jebe ka sanda jiangguan ni song karwa yui ma ji ba dong si tang ji chap ja ba 别人看到没吧？我东现在稍微吃点这种吃容啊，他听着话是有说听着养大多不个，多不第一单个，他身边那个工作的，那边社会的，他走了的那岗位。
So, that is to say that based on what we learned so far, what we learned, understood and recognized newly about our mind, we learn how to rest within that. What did we learn? We learned the mind doesn't come from anywhere, doesn't go anywhere, doesn't stay anywhere. It is not produced by causes and conditions, it does not disappear by circumstances. It is not made a certain color, it's not a certain shape. It does not have any particular function, characteristics that we can name. And moreover, this primordially existing mind is pervading everything. So we learn all this. But if we wish to rest in that, we now learn 6 skillful means to do so.
他的周给他的门内把三门内把也把是他往被周过那个我们再买。
Now, with the help of 6 examples, those 6 methods are taught, and there are methods to let the mind that does not abide yet abide.
他得了当我三个那种六个那种吧，那个东西，通过六个那种慢慢的去等些了，上，他那种如果对我要吧，看你这样用，在那干嘛弄拉巴拉说吧，养老健康用，对吧？但是这个人呢，这慢慢的去等于我们就。
So, talking about abiding, in general, of course, there is the abiding of body and the abiding of mind. The abiding of body is taught by means of the 7 points of Vairocana. This applies, of course, only to those who have a normal, unimpaired, flexible body, have no pains in their ankles and legs and arms and so on. So, if that is the case, your body is in a good shape, then you may very well assume the posture of Vairocana with the 7 characteristics.
那样，门个一定这是如果呢，建议有吧，拿啥有吧，那我们决定讲不着吧。但是人呢，让这啥叫讲我讲不出吧的嘛，你这个都，但是俺如果如果呢，看这拿啥买吧，看这这样呢，来哪个都这定啊，讲啊这个。
Now, all those whose body has some problems, does hurt here and there, and cannot take certain positions, for those, it does not mean that they are not able to practice Mahamudra. Of course, it's possible. And it just means that they have to take a different position. They have to stay in a way that feels comfortable, easy, and relaxed for them.
人家先给要他别当不得了，先重新弄开了另外一件，那就用没么的，做这么吧，让把它要上头，本来人从弄开了碰着吧，咱别接了的呢，咱那种从这先给让把它要上，
Now the examples now that given for the abiding of mind start with the example of the Garuda, who is cutting through space. It is the example for that within the uncontrived, natural state, we are merging into that without any contrivance, without any effort, like the Garuda cutting through space.
他背着来讲呢，本来重新的弄开了要等见着的，可能了，他呢弄开了，破头用上面的，白话讲讲，那种弄开了叫头的嘛，上面的造化，理由嘛也说。
So, talking about this example of the Garuda that merges into, that soars through space, like we should be merging into the natural state without any effort and contrivance. Then one part of the example is the Garuda, when he takes off into the space, is free of any doubt and hesitation. There's not the slightest instant there where the Garuda is in doubt that he actually can do it. But he thinks, oh, maybe I'm not able to take off. What happens if I cannot fly? And so on. all these sorts of doubts are not there.
다 대비되라잖아요. 다 나랑 좀 생태 강용도. 나랑 다 사자 전부 감백가 그 사자 전부 야보지 용거에 상배게 대화단. 나 사자 전부 야보지 용거 말해서 도바 뭐 말해서. 이까라.
So the practical application of that example is that when we sit there to start with the meditation of Mahamudra, the same way as the Garuda, who is not having the slightest doubt that he can do so and is not free of fear that he would fall down or anything, we are also free of doubts. We don't bother ourselves with thinking, oh, maybe today I can't do it, I cannot meditate, today I will have a bad exercise, whatever. Or maybe I will be very good today. All this kind of thinking is completely unnecessary. We're free of that hesitation.
并且容容到这个应当自己的弄的，嘴巴容啥这个有，的啥家讲不，人能没能，贴上木个，要是来话的，你也多半也没事，懂吗？나를 산대로 와서 냠발 자네 그 사자 전부 인지리 그 사자 전부 인지 말해서 세상 그 여서래 와도 니제 도파만 다나 야보도 용만 정말 야보도 용도로 싸우고 내가 그만 다나로 검 놀로 인지리 다 놀서 싸마한테 도파 그 말해서 그 바람 살 세계죠 양, 저 사자처럼 얘는 많이 세상 무구. 여기서 내와 양보도 용한 상관 이는 니서 도바이 맞이. 나는 놀소지, 놀소지, 네, 근데 상관. 아니 빼야 되는 기발.
Now, one statement accords with this example here and supports it. It's a statement of the third Karmapa, Rangjung Dorje, in his hard advice in one word, where he says, within the awareness itself, vividly aware rests. For that awareness, which is self-clear, let it rest within itself, vividly clear. No doubt needed whether this is the exercise of Mahamudra or it is not. Nor is it necessary to have any hope that this will be a very, very good exercise. And it is also completely unnecessary to entertain this worrying whether it may go in the wrong direction, or maybe a mistake. Whenever one lets the mind, the awareness, rest vividly just within itself, then there's no need to worry that this can be the meditation of Mahamudra or not. And also, it's completely useless to think that we can do it, achieve any special qualities and do it any in particular good way today, or that there's any risk that we may do it completely wrong. Completely unnecessary. We can be free of all those doubts, exactly like here it is mentioned in the example of the Garuda, who takes off and soars in space in the natural state without any effort.
이제 거고 나도 나도 배나 가게 그래서 아니 나도 되니까 땅도 그냥 산자만 이 정도 더 야로 감도 되니까.
Now, when in this way we just let mind, awareness rest within itself, vividly, clear, at times there may be no thought. And this indicates that the mind is abiding in its own essence. But no need to be afraid that the next thought will come. Next thought comes up, and when the next thought pops up, this thought is just the display of mind itself. So, there's no reason to dislike the occurrence of thought by thinking, oh, I would like to have no thought. This is no reason to say that, because thoughts have nothing wrong with them. Thoughts are the expressive power and the play of Dharmakaya, are the expressive power of this very mind itself. So what should we do? We just let our awareness rest straight on that thought that occurred, and this thought certainly will also disappear.
그 따바라는 저 사진 책만 뭐 터부서 옛날에 책이 대대라 그래서 나는 공부 아니 공나 그 생자라 나를 용서는 뭐지 터 아니 공부기 싫어 게 따뜻히
Now, this type of explanation of Mahamudra we will always get. Got maybe in the past. But the main point here is that we practice, that we put this into our own practice. We should use it. If we were to use it, we also were able to make experience, to have experience, and the intelligence that arises from out of this familiarization will also arise.
책세 비비서 나도 라면 남겨가 가르쳐서 나랑 좀 사진 연습을 통해서 이게 장아랑 라면 남겨라 단 라마라 선제도 대파 무 이나 이 라면 살라데 나랑 좀 살라토 이 라면 살라라 때는 나랑 좀 생기니로 사자참 무 책이 공이고 폐기
In this particular text of instruction here, the advice is contained that prior to the actual exercise of Mahamudra, one should engage in Guruyoga, means to direct one's mind towards one's main teacher, to open oneself for his blessing, his inspiration, by which we will be able to have the nature of our mind pointed out, and also we will be able, by the help of his blessing, to put that understanding into practice. How do we start? By opening our hearts for the main teacher, the Guruyoga. We do it by imagining that in the space in front of us there is a seed, a precious seed carried by 8 lions in all directions, and on which there is an open 1,000-petaled lotus blossom. In the center there is a flat sun disk, and on top of that a flat moon disk.
이게 땅도 송지 통지 train, take the people, the Karma from some, but there Karmapa, put in train Dorje. Ola, Ojasama, send on so. So ye be Dorje, ye trouble, took not up and then. Ola, then, true number, some sort. Shadow, Jim Motram, young man. We buy maybe Minji can be thanking time to the people they ever gone.
Now, on top of that precious seed, the moon disk, we imagine that there is the one who is the embodiment of the power of all the Buddhas' activity, Buddhas of the 10 directions and the 3 times, who is also the holder of the lineage of the Karma Kamsang, who is the one who is the 17th in Karmapa, sitting there in his brilliant appearance on the Dorje. Yeah, sits in the Karmapa, Ojin, Tenga Dorje, Banam, in all his splendor, and he's having on his head the black crown, the arms crossed in front of the heart, carrying the Vajra and the bell, and the legs are crossed. He's clothed in the 3 times of Dharma dressings and endowed with the limitless compassion that is totally impartial and goes in all directions.
Tenga gone at any Karmapa can no one's on a Karmapa, so I without saying, so the years of ten, only taking me Banaka, Lapundu, then journey, then Charon from a tea, that me gone.
Now, then we let our mind rest on this visualization, speaking the words Karmapameditation, which are somewhat a prayer, a supplication from our heart to receive the blessing of the Karmapa. And after a while, Rinpoche says he will then direct us to receive the empowerments, the abhishekas, from the various points of the body by the various types of light. So he will announce that when the time for that has come.
Karmapa, so take it, copy. Karmapa, Karwane, Karpo, true. Charon, Tara, 10.
Now, having one quantity directed our hearts towards the Karmapa, we imagine that white light is emerging from his forehead and enters our own.
Then I don't think the Lugu going is up a deeper to do what I'm young so talk. Karmapa, Guruyoga told some.
Now, we imagine that by the power of this light, all the evil imprints done by unskillful action of body are completely eliminated. And we have received the blessing of his enlightened body.
And Karmapa, some Rimbane, there's a Maponchu, Sharon Song, Rimbala, 10. Mahamudra going is up a deeper to do what I'm young so talk. Karmapa, some girls are not told some.
Again, we think that red light is emerging from his throat to enter our own, and by this all the negative imprints of the mind related to the unskillful speech are completely eliminated. We have received the blessing of his enlightened speech.
And Karmapa, two can is in Tenga Sharon Song, Ingala, 10. Same Jaguan is up a deeper to what I'm young so talk. Karmapa, told you son, told some.
Now, the third step is that deep blue light radiates out from his heart, to merge with ours, and all the negative imprints and mental obscurations that happen through ill-wishing, unskillful mental activity are completely eliminated, to leave us with the blessing of his enlightened mind.
And Karmapa, Tarwa, Dharma, Tukasan, there's Karma, Tension, Tuchichata. Sharon Song, Tarwa, Dharma, Inkasa, 10. The Yekamna, Luma, Yesum, Chanyang, Sapiki, deeper to what I'm young so talk. And Saja Chambu, Chogunuru, Topson, Sa.
Now light radiates out from the three places of his forehead, throat and heart center in white, red and deep blue, to merge with our forehead, throat and heart, to eliminate totally all the imprints of negative deeds by body, speech and mind and related mental obscurations, to leave us with the blessing of his enlightened body, speech and mind. Thus, we think to have achieved the siddhi, accomplishing power of Mahamudra.
And Karmapa, where to show me, message Pumbuta, then I don't get some image of this one, then some Maju Baron, Saja Chamo gone.
So the image of the Karmapa in front of us dissolves into light. This intense light now merges with ourselves, so that we become one and indivisible, wherein we rest without contrivance, the exercise of Mahamudra.
대라 사자 정보 사자 정보 가면 다 들리지 그런 다른人자와 제제도 용을 양적 지속 그 값을 용 대단 전시게 장면 생활은 너무만도 탑 되는 셈데 이 사자 셈게 남도 라서와 무시 장군은 야는 지속.
So this is called the meditation or the familiarization of Mahamudra. And when in this way our mind abides one-pointedly, awareness of mind abides one-pointedly, then this is the actual session, the phase of the settling, of resting within settling. And when then in between those sessions we run around and do the different things, all within this experience we have to remind ourselves by awareness as good as we can that whatever thought arises, whatever idea comes up, that this is but the expressive power of our own mind. If there are questions related to this topic, please, you're welcome. So the question is how to recognize whether in this exercise we are in a state of real clarity and emptiness, or we are just trapped in a mental state that is equivalent to one of those God realms. How to recognize the difference, if it is maybe difficult to see the difference. Now, if we were to have a meditation experience that was marked by an extremely clear or vivid state, then we might like that so much that we think, oh, this is great, this is fantastic, I would like to have that every time. And we might try our best to reproduce this state of such vividness and clarity. And if we do that continuously and always try to have back this state and familiarize ourselves with that, then this indeed might lead to the final end of finding ourselves in the realm of God, of form realm or formless realm.